Hey guys, so I put this video together to accompany a blog post I've written on preventing wedding photography hangovers. So we all know that feeling of shooting a wedding and getting up the next morning and feeling like you've had a really awesome night out, except you haven't. You've been shooting for 10, 12 more hours, whatever. For me, in terms of performing at my best throughout the day and being able to shoot weddings back to back is so important to kind of just avoid that awful feeling the following day. So as I've kind of explained in the blog post, back in 2009, I really had enough. I had an epic 3-day migraine at one point, and I thought, right, I really need to just solve this. I hired a nutritionist. I got some advice from one of my friends who was a professional fighter at the time, and I came up with a solution. So I have a real kind of balanced nutritional plan on a wedding day, so I don't tend to have the meal. If the couple do treat me to the meal, I tend to just have the protein part of it rather than the full thing. And I have a few accessories as well that I use that really help kind of keep everything kind of nice and cool for me to eat as well. So I'm just going to share those with you. So one of my probably my all-time overall favourite things to snack on are these Eat Natural protein bars. There's quite a few bars in the range, but this one is really dense. It's really filling. I could quite easily just eat half of it and I pop the rest back in my pouch. I use a Spider Pro belt, so I have some pouches with my water bottle and various snacks and things like that. So these are awesome, and they're pretty inexpensive as well. And they're easy to get. These you can just get in any supermarket. If I feel like I need a sugar hit, I really love snacking on raisins. And these can also be used to bribe children as well. And they do a ton of different flavours, but I just really like the lime. So they're kind of like a little bit of a sugar hit without kind of going full on chocolate. The other thing that I like are these protein balls. They've got almonds in them, so they're quite dense. And again, they're really filling. You could just eat half of one of those, and I tend to just graze on food throughout the day, and it just keeps my energy levels up. I have a little alarm set in my watch as well, so it buzzes every hour just to remind me to eat and drink, because you know what it's like when you're just shooting and you're distracted and you're busy doing things. But one of the things I really cannot stand is like warm water or warm drinks on a wedding day. And if the bar is really busy, you don't want to be queuing at the bar when you could be getting kind of documentary coverage and things. So I have a metal kind of flask water bottle that I have with me, and that tends to last me the first part of the wedding, but usually the time we get to after the ceremony I'm kind of running low on water. So I use some awesome cool bags. Now the first one I'm going to show you, this is kind of massive actually. It's one of those things I ordered where I didn't actually look at the dimensions when I ordered it. I just thought that's quite cute, I'll have one of them. One of the things I like about it though is it does fold up to like a tote bag as well. But when it's set like this, it's got a flat base, so it kind of stops it rolling about in the car. But it's quite a bit of space inside. And I used to have older, well, kind of more chunky ice packs, and this was a better fit for those. So it does keep stuff cold literally all day and evening. I can still get home at like midnight and my drinks, if there's any left, are still cold. So this is pretty cool. However, the one that I use all the time is this one. So it's much smaller, but I found some kind of slim ice packs to go in with it. So, and it's the perfect size for Lucozade sport bottles. Now, I used to use PhD Recovery 2-to-1, which was like a dry carb drink for my kind of isotonic thing, but they discontinued it. So I've been experimenting with different things, and I do like PhD battery, but I quite like the Lucozade sport bottles. They're like non-drip bottles, which if you wear a Spider Pro belt and you're getting down and crouching and getting up and down all the time, and you're kind of leaning over, and you don't want any spillages from your water bottle, and these are actually really good. So that kind of influenced that, plus they taste good as well. But one of the things I like about this, it's kind of the perfect size for like your sports bottles. So what I tend to do is Lucozade Sport down each side, surrounding my ice packs. If I'm going to take any sandwiches, which I wouldn't tend to, I tend to go for like high protein. So if I do, it would be cheese, basically. I would shove them down the middle and have like a couple of caffeinated drinks in there. Usually Iron Brew zero sugar or Coke zero sugar. I have to go for the Iron Brew. It'd be a cliche. So yeah, this is kind of just like the perfect size without it being too large. The other one is a bit too big, really. But I really love the quality of these bags as well. It's in pretty good nick, really, considering. There's a couple of frayed bits on it, but it's had a fair amount of use and it looked really quite new. I'll put a link on my blog post to kind of where you can get these. I think I got this one through Ocado and then the other one from Amazon. The other thing that I really love is PhD Farm Away. Because you're essentially drinking a liquid, it's good for hydration as well, but you can feel full without feeling sluggish or anything. I mix it with coconut water, which is kind of long life, so I can just have them both in the car. And this is what I tend to have the bigger bag in. If I'm going to be having some of this, I would put my coconut milk in this bag. So really my approach to wedding day is a massive high protein breakfast, snacks throughout the day, and I tend to leave having the carbs till after the ceremony, till a little bit later on in the day. A word of warning about flapjacks: be careful with flapjacks because some have a ridiculous amount of sugar in them. You don't want to have a sugar crash by 6 o'clock and then you're just kind of struggling through to the first dance. So, I'd recommend something like PhD or something more in the kind of sports nutrition. However, there are some really dodgy ones out there that have got quite a bit of sugar in them, considering they're marketed as sports products. So just always look at the label, look at the sugar content and compare different things online. But I've found the PhD ones to be pretty reasonable. And favourite Farm Away flavour is tiramisu. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do if they discontinue this. What I did used to do actually is have the vanilla flavour and put a shot of espresso in it. So when they came out with this, I was just like, this is just so much easier. But it does actually taste really nice. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you, I have some rehydration tablets as well. They're isotonic things, so it means if I run out of drinks, but I don't want to have a load of stuff in the car, I keep these in I've got like a little wedding bag of kind of my kind of resources and things, and these are pretty good as well. Any questions or anything, feel free to comment below or let me know what works for you, and I hope that's been useful. All right, cheers guys.